Hey there people, so today I am bringing you my Minecraft Survival Guide 2020. Basically this is a fairly quick walkthrough of how to play Minecraft for beginners and anyone else who just wants to know what to do next in the game. So this will be broken down into parts with timestamps in the description so that you can learn what you need. First steps when you get into Minecraft, you're going to want to gather some wood. That's the first thing you're going to want to do. Basically, you just go to a tree, and yes, you can beat down a tree with your bare hands to get some wood. And you're going to need at least 3 logs. Each of these wooden blocks counts as a log. That's enough to get you started with being able to do some basic crafting and to be able to gather more wood faster. So I'll show you how to do that. First of all, you'll need to go into your inventory. And ignoring the recipe book, which I'll tell you about in a second, basically you just need to put a log in here to get planks. You're going to want probably a couple of those to start with, and you can do a couple of those at a time. And those planks you can then use to turn into sticks. Of course, I've got a ton in here already, but you're going to need 2 in here to make sticks, so you're going to want some of those as well. First thing you're going to want to actually make is a crafting table, so you're going to need 4 of these to do that. And that allows you, just like that, make your crafting table, and that allows you to make more advanced stuff. So when you're crafting by hand, you just have 4 squares to craft with. Whereas if you put down a crafting table, that gives you 9 squares to work with, and that allows you to make more advanced stuff. The first thing you're probably going to want to make with your crafting table is axe. So of course I've got some more advanced stuff in here already, but you're going to want to make a wooden axe to start with, and it's just a couple of sticks and some oak planks in that shape. And of course, yes, you can use your recipe book to find that a little more easily. When you first start out, it's only going to show you the recipes you have the materials for. So you're going to want that axe, and that will allow you to gather wood faster. Basically chop down the tree instead of using your bare hands. Use the axe, and that'll happen faster. You can also, when you have enough wood in here, you can make a basic wooden sword. You can make a basic wooden pickaxe. Pickaxe, of course, is very important for being able to gather stones, and you can start digging, and you'll notice in here as well, once you have some stone, you'll be able to make stone versions of the same tools. It's the same pattern, couple of sticks and just cobblestones in place of the planks. And you can make those same basic 3 things with stone once you have some stone, using those same recipes, but the stone versions. So that's enough to get you started actually right there. And again, those things are basically, there's shapes. You can use the recipe book to see what those shapes are, but of course if you get used to the shape, a stick is a couple of planks in a sort of stick shape and so on. You get the idea. The hatchet was a couple of sticks and then the planks in the corner as if to form a blade. So that's the sort of basic idea. But that axe will let you then gather some wood faster. And just to show you that, it doesn't take as long as doing it by hand, and of course as you upgrade more, you'll be able to gather even faster than that with a stone axe and a stone pickaxe and so on for your various materials. So next thing you're going to want to do is build a house. Of course, I've already gone ahead and done that so that I'm not wasting your time here. But once you have your crafting table, you're probably going to want to put your crafting table inside actually of where you plan to build your house. A house will be necessary to survive at night when monster mobs are far more common. Monster mobs spawn in dark areas, so you'll find them in caves and so on, but when it gets dark outside, they will spawn outside. So you're going to need a house to protect you from the monsters at night. It can be a good idea to keep your first house near where you first spawned in case you die. Again, crafting table inside so you can work on stuff safely as well is a good idea. And it's also, I find it useful to build it on the top of a hill for visibility, so I can see this more easily from, some distance away. And I also put some torches on there that'll become more important at night to be able to spot that easily. So that just helps you with some very initial, very basic navigation put that up on a hill where you can find it, essentially. A house can be as simple as just 4 walls. Now, as far as building your house, you can build the walls out of any type of block, but making them out of planks is most efficient because a single wooden block gives you 4 planks. So instead of just 1 block, you get 4 blocks for the price of that 1 wooden log. Also, so I've got, of course, a crafting table in here. I've also built a little lookout out here just to give you a nice view of the area. I can step up here and see what's around nice and easily. And those are just little design features that I find useful. You can also use your crafting table, as you can see, to craft doors and ladders and all kinds of stuff, even just from basic wood and storage boxes and so on. So a ceiling actually isn't that necessary at the very beginning, but if you do want to make a ceiling, and when you're ready to make a ceiling, it's more efficient to break those plank blocks into half block high slab blocks. You can get more of those out of a single plank block, and that allows you to cover your whole ceiling more quickly with less material as well. So just something to keep in mind there. Now at this point, if you haven't already, you'll want to craft a sword, and you'll probably just want to dig out some cobblestone so that you can make a stone sword, a stone axe, a stone pickaxe. You will, of course, need some sticks to make those tools and make them at your crafting station, your crafting table. You should be able to get stone pretty quickly, and iron actually isn't that hard to get. We'll get to that shortly, how to find iron and how to find coal. And as far as coal, you'll also want to make some torches once you do find some coal. So torches are going to be very important as well. And at that point, you're going to want to start looking for food. So I've got some food that I stored in here already, of course, but you are going to want to go out, and easiest thing actually to look for is just basically meat. So you'll find animals wandering around. You'll find cows and pigs and sheep. And at that point, food gives you health, and a full or nearly full food bar, that's little ham bones down the bottom right, will actually help you to regenerate your health. So specifically 17 out of 20 food points will regenerate your health, which works out to 8.5 notches on your little ham bone food bar there. It's not too difficult to kill a few animals for meat. You'll find them wandering around outside. Again, cows, sheep, pigs, and so on. And you can also breed and farm some animals, and some animal types can even be tamed, but we'll get to that a little bit later as well. You will need a furnace and some coal to cook meat. So a furnace is actually crafted from 8 cobblestone blocks at your crafting table. So it's nice and simple. You just need some stone, and that allows you to craft this furnace here. And the furnace, you just open that up and you put your meat in the top, and you put your coal in the bottom, and that starts it cooking. Nice and simple as well. Cooked meat is much better than raw meat. It improves, once you cook it, that improves the benefit that you get from eating it. You'll get more food points, which equates to extra health as well. And rotten flesh and raw chicken can actually give you food poisoning, so you definitely don't want to eat uncooked chicken. And rotten flesh, of course, you don't want to eat in general. It's not good for you. You can also use your furnace to smelt iron ore into iron ingots, and other items into ingots, and so on as well. Further to that, though, you can also get wheat seeds. You can plant crops. So if you want to be a vegetarian, yes, you can. So I'll just go show you that quickly. In order to do that, you're going to want to craft a hoe. So that's another item that you can craft in here. And yes, you can do wood versions, stone versions, and so on once again. But a wooden hoe, nice and simple. You just break that out, and it's already getting dark outside, but a hoe is used, I'll have to watch out for monsters now. A hoe is used to clear the land so that you can plant the crops. So you just do that, use your hoe, and it's a good idea to plant it near water because crops will grow faster near water. Makes sense, right? And then I can just plant those seeds, and as you can see, I had a little garden going here already. And that's how you can plant your crops. You can plant wheat seeds you actually get from just breaking grass. So you find little patches of grass. You might even have a whole field of grass, and you just go around whacking grass, and eventually you'll get some wheat seeds just like that. And there are other crops that you can plant as well. You can plant potatoes and other various things that you'll find that are plantable. So the next thing you'll want to do at that point is make a bed. A bed is necessary to set your spawn point so you don't just spawn out wherever you were when you started. You can craft a bed, and it also allows you to sleep through the night. Note that you can only sleep if there aren't too many enemies nearby, but a bed is crafted from 3 wool and 3 planks, so you'll get wool by either murdering or shearing sheep. So if you find some sheep, yes, you can kill them and you get a wool drop a lot of the time from that. You can also craft shears from iron ingots and use that to get wool from sheep without killing them. If they're unshorn, you can get actually more wool that way. So that's how you craft your bed, and then you can get in your bed and you can go to sleep, and that allows you to actually sleep through the night so that you don't just have to sit inside your house just hiding all night, and it just takes you straight to the next day. Of course, you can sit inside and craft things at night as well, but that allows you just to skip the night and go straight to your next day. So next thing you're going to want is some armor. Leather is an option if there are enough leather-bearing animals around, so that includes cows and horses and so on. It's also quite possible to get iron gear fairly quickly. You smelt iron ore into ingots as your furnace, as I mentioned. Once you have at least 1 iron bar smelted, you can also make a shield, which is very useful. So I did put one of those in here. And all you need to do is equip that along with your armor. I've got all the way up to a diamond helmet, but I've got iron, the rest of my armor here. And that's just a matter of gathering enough iron and eventually diamonds or whatever other material. In order to get those materials, if you want to gear up fast, you're going to want to start digging. So yes, you can find caves. You can just wander around and you will find caves here and there. But caves are generally filled with monsters, so you'll at the very least want to bring some weapons and torches. Again, monsters won't spawn where it's light, so actually if you put enough torches around, that will stop them from spawning. But it's actually easier, I would argue, to just start digging under your house in a nice staircase shape like this. Point is that your character can only go up 1 block at a time, so you just want to go down 1 block at a time in a staircase-like shape. You will find caves underground and such as well. I found this little water cave over here, and continuing down, there's also another big cave down here with all kinds of branches. So there are caves that you can find underground, and those can keep you busy for quite a while. This one goes on in all kinds of different directions as I follow it through there. But again, same thing as the outside caves. You can find monsters in there, so you got to watch out. But you will find things like coal right here. This is coal, and there's just another picture of coal. When you dig coal out, you will get, that's coal ore, gives you, so to speak, gives you bits of coal. And similar idea with iron. Iron looks like this. And so you'll be, that's the first thing you'll want to look for. Iron is a pretty good tier. Certainly to get you started, it will keep you going actually for quite a while. Iron is quite strong for weapons and tools and armor. But you can just keep digging all the way down. If you really want to gear up fast, you'll notice that there are sounds that you will hear under here. So you'll hear water. That means literally if you dig in the direction of that sound, you will run across some water. You will hear zombies perfectly on cue there as well. If you dig towards that zombie, you'll find a cave, because of course the zombie can't be sitting in solid rock. Same thing, you'll hear bats, which will also indicate where caves are. And there's even sounds where you can hear flowing lava. So this is lava, of course. When you dig down far enough, you're more and more likely to run into it. And that's actually the sound of lava, if you heard that. Also, you'll notice those little sparks. If you see little droplets of lava from the ceiling, do not dig up, because that means that lava is flowing above you. But if you do want to gear up very quickly, you'll want to dig all the way down to the bedrock. That's this stuff right here. And then just above the highest level of the bedrock is where I recommend you start digging trenches. And this is called strip mining, just literally digging a very long strip. And as you dig that, you will find materials, like there's some coal, and up there is some redstone, and up there is just what we're looking for, diamonds. So I recommend that you dig these long strips, and there's some iron again as well. Just dig until you run into something that stops you from digging, like lava. Yes, you can dig and run directly into lava, which is why I recommend that you keep some cobblestone blocks in your hotbar so you can just switch to the cobblestone. As soon as you see the lava, you can just slam a block in there and stop it, because it does thankfully flow kind of slowly. So you can stop it, and then you'll just go back and start another strip, essentially. And I dig these tall because that allows me, just like that diamond is up on the ceiling there. Again, you'll want this at the highest level of bedrock or above, because you don't want to be running into bedrock. And also the main things you're looking for at this depth are diamonds and redstone. And those spawn anywhere between 0, which is the lowest level of bedrock, and 15, which is literally like 15 blocks up. So if you're just above, this is around level 5, and this allows you to go up 7 levels above that. And you're going to see a lot of it if you dig these nice and tall just above the top of the bedrock. And so that's my recommendation. But strip mining, what you'll want to do after you run into a dead end on your first strip, just dig over 3 blocks. And the point being that there's 2 blocks in between so that you can see that side, and then when you go over here you can see that side, and that way you're not missing anything. And just do the same thing again until you hit the end, and just do the same thing again. And you can dig these as long or as short as you want, but the point is if you dig them longer and you dig them tall, then you're gonna basically see all the available materials in the area. So again, mainly you're looking for diamonds that look like that, and you're also looking for redstone. Diamonds are very rare, so that's why this strip mining method is necessary. Redstone, once you're down to this level, is not quite so rare, but diamonds are used for high tier gear. So your swords and axe and pickaxe, you will need a diamond pickaxe to be able to mine obsidian. And diamond is one of the highest tiers of gear that you can get. Redstone, when you mine the redstone, it gives you redstone dust, which is used for power and mechanisms. You may also find other ores while you're down here, including gold, which looks like that. It's basically shinier than iron, more gold colored. And there's also lapis lazuli, which is dark blue specks in the rock, which is actually not for making gear. So gold is not a direct upgrade from iron. It has a lower strength, but it has higher enchantability, so it does have its uses. Lapis lazuli, again, does not allow you to craft gear from that. It's not used for making equipment, but it is useful for enchanting and decoration, so that's something that will come in handy later. Diamond has long been the highest tier of armor, tools, and weapons beyond iron and gold. Iron is actually stronger than gold, but again, gold allows enchantability, so it has its uses. Diamond pickaxe, again, required to mine obsidian, and diamond is currently the best armor, but when the next update comes, 1.16 will include netherite, which is a tier beyond diamond. You can't simply mine that, though, so we're not going to get to that point right now. That will require materials from another realm, which I'm going to talk about in a minute or two as well. So I would recommend you do make sure to make a shield. It's actually very useful for blocking attacks. And the other thing to watch out for when you are down mining, there's gravel blocks which will fall. They're the only type of blocks that will fall when the blocks below them are pulled out from under them, so to speak, as far as stones. So gravel blocks will fall from the ceiling, and you can have cave-ins happen with gravel blocks. However, you do want to watch out for gravel not only as a danger, but when you do mine out those gravel blocks, you can get flint, which is useful for making arrows and other things as well. So flint is also important, and so gravel blocks therefore are important as well. Now, at this point, you can start to think about getting out and exploring. So exploring and navigation. It is easy to get lost in Minecraft when you go out and you look at this environment. A lot of it starts to look pretty similar. There's a lot of trees, a lot of dirt, a lot of hills, and I'll just survey this from above so you can get the idea. But it's very easy to get lost. So you can use torches as a very simple means of marking your path and finding your way back. That's one option. So a torch, again, is just a stick and a piece of coal, and you can make those ones by hand. You can also combine redstone and iron ingots, which you might have by this point, to make a compass. You can see my rightmost on my main hotbar, I have a compass there. And so that just looks like this as far as crafting it. You just put a speck of redstone dust in the middle of your crafting table and you surround it with iron ingots. That allows you to make a compass. You can also then combine a compass with paper, which you get from sugar cane. You're going to have to go around looking for sugar canes, which you turn into paper, and then put a compass in the middle of your crafting table and surround that with paper to make a map with direction markers. On the Bedrock Edition, Windows 10, console, mobile, you can also make just a plain map out of nothing but paper. Just fill the whole thing with paper. But on all versions, you can create this one, which actually shows direction markers. So I'll show you what that looks like. I have that here as well. Now, this is a very zoomed out map version, but you can see in the corner of my little map there that turns as I do, and that's your direction marker and why it's useful to put a compass in your map. The other thing is, as I say, this is a very zoomed out map, and how you do that, initially your map will be like your local area only, but if you put your map in the middle of the crafting table and surround it with more paper, you get a more zoomed out version of that map. This is as far as you can go. This is 4 levels of zoomed out, if I recall correctly. And so you'll notice that it doesn't actually show much area around me because it's basically zoomed way, way out. So once that's done, it's not reversible. You will actually lose the map that you used as the input for that. So you may not want to zoom it out all the way. Or you may want to keep like different versions, one of each kind of thing. So that's very useful as well. Have your map, have your compass, and those are going to help you a lot with navigating and finding your way around the world. Now, other things you can do, well, you can learn to fish. You can get a fishing pole, and that allows you to catch not only fish, which of course are useful for food, but you can catch other items with your fishing pole as well. It's also a good idea if you do have a decent amount of water around the area, as I do here, you can craft a boat. And you can craft that from wood at your crafting table. Looks like this. And that allows you to navigate quickly as well. Again, compass is going to point me back to home, which is going to be very, very helpful in avoiding getting lost. Oh, look, it's a creeper. You going to blow up on me, buddy? Oh, I should have put my shield up sooner. Anyway, yeah, those are some of the guys you want to look out for. And there's my boat, which I lost when that exploded. Okay, boat back in the water. Anyway, your boat is going to let you get around quickly, and you can even dig little channels in between different ponds like I did here. And yes, you can make your way across a little bit of a dry area. The water doesn't flow all the way through. But that allows you to get to different areas so that you can continue exploring quickly with your boat. It's also a good idea if you happen to come across a wolf. Beyond the more simple animals that you can kill for food and materials, there are also wolves. They look like this. It's a good idea if you do come across a wolf and you have some bones from fighting skeletons. You can feed bones to the wolf to tame it. And if you do tame a wolf, it will only accept bones until it's been tamed. Then that wolf will basically become your pet. It gets a red collar and starts looking happier, more like a dog. And that will actually attack nearby enemies for you. So a tamed wolf is very, very useful. And it will follow you around and attack enemies. Now, a tamed wolf's tail indicates its health. So if its tail is up high, that indicates it's in good health. If its tail is down low, that indicates bad health. And you can basically heal it as you would yourself by feeding it meat. Wolves will only eat meat. So feed it some meat, and that will heal it up. And they are immune, though, to food poisoning. So you can actually feed your tamed wolf rotten flesh, which gives you a use for that. You can also tame rideable animals such as donkeys, horses, and mules for quicker transportation if you're in maybe a land area. So you can tame a donkey, mule, or horse by simply trying to ride it until it becomes tamed. It will just try to buck you off, but If you just keep trying to ride it over and over, eventually it will stop, which means it's tamed, and basically now you can ride it freely. However, a saddle is required to effectively control their movement. So once you have a tamed donkey, mule, or horse, you'll want a saddle, put the saddle on, and that allows you to control the animal and direct it where you want to go. You can also craft a lead, and that allows you to lead the animal around on foot. And you can add chests for storage on the back of the animals, those animals, and that allows you to transport things around as well. So they'll give you quicker transportation as well as the ability to transport some stuff with you. It is also possible to ride a pig using a combination of a saddle and a carrot on a stick. However, pigs aren't very fast, so that's not all that useful. You will also come across llamas, and llamas can be tamed. You can climb on them, and you can use them to transport large cargoes, but they cannot be saddled. So llamas cannot be effectively controlled as far as riding them. So you'll want to use a lead with a llama for transportation purposes to transport large cargoes. Now, while you are wandering around, you may sometimes come across a village, or you may come across a wandering trader. So villages contain villagers, and the wandering trader as well, similar idea. You can trade with them. The villagers will have specific jobs. They will trade things for emeralds, and that allows you another method of getting some things and another method of trading some things maybe that you have as well. Ultimately, you can build, of course, it is Minecraft, you can build minecarts. You can also find minecarts, but you can build a minecart from iron ingots, and you can also craft tracks from iron ingots and sticks. Minecart track provides not only transportation, but also a reference point for navigation. You'll need a lot of iron to build a minecart network, and you'll also need powered rails to make it go. So powered rails will require a combination of gold ingots and redstone to craft those. And using redstone, besides powering your minecart track, it is also possible to use redstone to build all kinds of interesting and useful mechanisms, including automated like sorting facilities and mining facilities, and a lot more complicated stuff than that. You can also learn about enchanting on your way, which will help you augment your gear with improved capabilities. And at that point, what else? Well, there's biomes to explore, special locations, and unique realms to travel to. So there's still a lot that you can do in this game. Just looking around, you can start to see that there are many, many biomes. So that's, biological areas, basically. Biomes include forests, mountains, deserts, water areas, jungle areas, snowy areas, and so on. And just by traveling into those vast distances of Minecraft, you'll find all kinds of interesting things. If you can spot the little red area over there, those are giant mushrooms, and there's all kinds of unique areas that you can find, swamps and unique things within them. So there are special locations. Besides the villages, there are pillager outposts, there are woodland mansions, there are shipwrecks, ocean monuments, and a lot more. I did mention mining obsidian earlier. You'll need your diamond pickaxe to mine obsidian, but obsidian can be used to create a nether portal, which allows you to make your way to another realm called the Nether. The Nether, well, first of all, obsidian forms when water pours onto lava. So you can find obsidian when you're underground where lava and water happen to meet, or you can cause it to form by causing water and lava to meet. The Nether, though, once you mine that obsidian and create your portal, the Nether is a separate realm with its own unique environment and mobs, i.e. enemies, and it can be used for fast travel as well. It's basically kind of like hell. It's fiery, and some of the enemies there are, fire themed and so on. And the dimensions in the Nether match up differently to the dimensions in the main world. So if you create a portal, say here, and you travel into the Nether, and then you have another portal in the Nether that you come out of, you could be much, much farther. Even though you went a short distance in the Nether, that could be a very long distance in the main world, where the matching portal on the other side would be. There's also unique materials that you can get from the Nether, and using some of those you can also fight, and you can summon and fight the Wither boss. So there's only two major bosses in Minecraft. The Wither is one of them, and using materials from the Nether, you can summon the Wither and fight that. Also, another thing you can craft after returning from the Nether is an Eye of Ender. An Eye of Ender allows you to locate underground strongholds in the main world. It's possible, of course, to find them anyway, but it's much easier with an Eye of Ender. It will indicate where they are. Crafting an Eye of Ender requires blaze powder from the Nether and an ender pearl from this realm. Blaze powder comes from a blaze rod, which is dropped by blaze enemies in the Nether. They're literally little flying around little fiery things. So that will require a blaze rod turned into blaze powder from one of those. And the other item is an ender pearl. So an ender pearl is dropped by endermen, which you can find here in the main realm, but they only spawn rarely in dark areas. This one happened to be hiding under a tree. I guess it was dark enough for him. But normally you'll find them more often in caves and at night when it's dark, just like other monster mobs. But they're much more rare, and rarely they will drop. Not every time you kill them, but if you fight them and kill them, somewhat rarely they will drop the Ender Pearl. So you combine that with your Blaze Powder and get Eye of Ender. Now, the other thing about the Eye of Ender, when you do find your way to those strongholds and you fight your way through the stronghold, at the end of the stronghold is an end portal, and that allows you to travel to another special realm called the End. Now, to activate the end portal at the end of the stronghold, you're going to need a bunch of Eyes of Ender, so you're going to have to gather a lot of rare material to get all of the Eyes of Ender necessary to activate that portal. But at that point, you can travel to the End, which is sort of the third realm, and the End is where the Ender Dragon, the final boss, awaits you. You'll also find more Endermen there, but the Ender Dragon is basically the final boss of Minecraft. So that's how the progression in Minecraft works. Of course, you don't necessarily need to do all of that. You can just, hang around and chill and explore the world. There's a lot to explore. It's quite interesting, some of the things you can come across. And you can just sit around and build and chill with the materials you find. But of course, if you really just want to do building, there's also, in addition to survival, there's creative mode, which is specialized for building. And that basically gives you materials and allows you to fly around and just build stuff. That's what creative mode is for. There are also a vast number of mods available and all kinds of specialized online servers with essentially like whole different games to play within Minecraft. Basically, many different games and game types are possible within Minecraft via mods and servers, so that in a sense, you could say that the end is only the beginning. So I hope you liked this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.